Two questions now from Nagapriya.
Hmm.
First one, what do you understand by the term materialism? In what ways, if any, does having materialist views hinder spiritual development?
Yes. Well, by materialism, I understand the philosophical view that nothing exists except matter, howsoever defined. The view that what is usually thought of as mind is simply a product, an expression of matter, and that there is no such independent principle as mind. And of course, this materialism is bound up with the view that that consciousness is just a product of the electrical activity of the brain, and that the individual human being has no, well, for want of a better term, no soul, no spirit, no consciousness in the sense of anything which is not reducible to something material. So that's philosophical materialism. And some people are philosophical materialists. But then there is materialism in the broader sense, which usually means over-attachment to or over-valuation of material possessions, or sensuous or mundane experience, over-evaluation of such things. That's materialism in the popular sense. So you can be a practical materialist even when professing to be a very religious person. And I think, well, practically everybody is a materialist to some extent in that more popular sense. I don't think that outside the ranks of professional scientists, perhaps, there are many people who are still materialists in the more philosophical sense. I did hear one on the radio the other day, forget his name, but he expressed himself quite strongly, and no doubt, yes, there are some such people. But nowadays in our society and our culture, well, there seems to be a lot of the more popular materialism, and it's something that as a spiritual movement we need to be on our guard against, both individually and collectively, because it's something that's pressing on us, pressing up against us all the time. We're living in the midst of, on the whole, a very materialistic society and culture with very materialistic values. And that isn't very helpful from the spiritual point of view. So there was a further question, wasn't there, which I didn't quite deal with?
Yeah. In what ways, if any, does having materialist views hinder spiritual development?
Well, if you really are a philosophical materialist, well, clearly you will see no point in thinking in terms of any spiritual development. You may think in terms of culture, but you'll see culture as having basically a material origin, or being a material expression, nothing beyond that. Of course, if you are a materialist in the more popular sense, well, clearly that may well hold you back in your spiritual development. And this is why in the Dharma we do stress very much non-attachment and giving up and content